Superman is undoubtedly one of the most recognizable superheroes of all time, an icon to both children and adults, and as someone who has read his stories for decades now, I've always enjoyed that character. However, given the sheer volume of Superman comics, it's not always easy to recommend specific stories. Despite this, there are some truly excellent ones that stand out. And today, I want to discuss one of my favorite Superman comics of all time, written by someone who's proven to be a truly terrible person. Released on November 11, 2015, Superman American Alien is a semi-origin story for Clark Kent. Each issue explores a different period in Clark's life, and its primary focus isn't to just retell a traditional Superman narrative, which we do have a lot of great examples of like Birthright, but rather to delve into who Clark is as a person. The series focuses on his journey to understand how he fits into the world with his powers, but I feel it's incredibly small scale, setting it apart from most other Superman runs. But before I dive into the story and explain why I love it, I need to address the writer, Max Landis. While I generally try to separate the artist from the art, Max Landis is a very challenging case. At one point, I respected him. I enjoyed his work. His script on Chronicles the movie was really solid. His podcast appearances were engaging. And he wrote this comic, which I do adore up until this day. However, in 2017, he was accused of sexual harassment, and then 2 years later, he was identified as a serial rapist and abuser, known for physically and mentally manipulating people, especially the girls he was dating. In 2021, he even admitted that some of these allegations were true. This is enough to confirm that this dude is a terrible person. I won't say much more about him, but the sheer amount of women who came forward with similar stories, combining with the fact that the director Josh Trank from Chronicles banned him from the set of the movie for his behavior, just provides enough proof that this guy is not a good guy and he should not really be in the business anymore. So you're asking, how could someone like that write a heartfelt story like American Alien? And I believe it's because his version of Clark is flawed, yet constantly striving to be the best version of himself, something that Max himself failed to do. But let's talk about the comic. So the first issue is the most lighthearted of them all, showing a very young Clark just learning to fly, with his parents naturally worried sick. His father and mother try to guide him and help him control his powers, and as a parent myself, Clark's reaction to his newfound abilities and his desire to be special was incredibly touching. This is just a heartwarming start that immediately resonated with me and got me into the series. And issue 2 fast forwards to Clark as a teenager, gaining control over powers like X-ray vision and heat vision, and what I love is that his closest friends are aware of his abilities. Clark just wants to get through school without drawing too much attention on himself. But when a group of ruthless individuals start hurting people and killing people in his town of Smallville, he knows he has to act. Even after being shot with a shotgun, he desperately pleads with the people who are shooting him to stop, otherwise he's going to be forced to intervene. It's a dark moment and he's scared, but this is the most Clark Kent Superman, whatever you want to say, I've ever seen on page. He's someone who has to consider a million possibilities that could arise from saving someone, but he does it anyway. So imagine trying to do that as a 15-year-old boy. The pressure, to say the least, is immense. But what truly makes this series works is how Clark progresses into his young adulthood and finds his place in this world. Early on, he somehow ends up in Bruce Wayne's boat, and Bruce isn't there because, you know, he's trying to put on the whole billionaire attitude, but he's crime fighting or trying to, and the party doesn't know that because it's being thrown from him, so they don't even know who Bruce looks like, and they mistake Clark for him. It's a humorous sequence and some truly great moments of drunk Clark just kind of talking about his life ambitions and trying to figure stuff out, which I think anybody who's drank before can kind of relate to. And soon after that, we find him in Metropolis, where he begins to save people. And he might be wearing this like raggedy costume, but the fact is, Clark is driven to help. It's ingrained in him. Much like an EMT or a firefighter, he goes out saving lives, knowing the risk, and he won't stop till everyone is safe. And that's exactly what Clark is. Despite his mistakes, his failures, or even Batman trying to hunt him in the middle of the story, nothing will deter Clark from becoming the hero he believes he should be, even his friends. And there's an entire issue dedicated to his Smallville friends visiting him, and it's one of the best in the series because it highlights themes of moving on and what your friend's wants and needs are from you. And while you might initially perceive his friend as selfish or being unfair, you soon understand the truth behind his concerns. He's afraid for his superpowered friend. It's a unique perspective because you don't often see regular people scared for the most powerful being on that planet. And the story culminates with the arrival of Lobo, which is a fun reveal for a miniseries to be his first true villain. By this point, Clark is fully Superman, with all eyes on the Man of Steel. And in this fight, he showcases his humanity, delivering a humorous line that makes everybody laugh, but it shows that he's never going to back down to protect the people, and ensuring Lobo gets the fuck off this planet. It's a fantastic fight filled with heart, and once again demonstrates Clark's core character, while also ending on a note that highlights how many people really care for him and worry about him. So at the core of this entire series, it's just about a guy trying his best, and who can't relate to that? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what makes this so good, and it's really a shame that the writer couldn't take his own lesson that he's trying to point here, that you can be the best you can be as long as you keep working towards that. And instead, he went down a path that's dark, and now he'll probably never work in a field that he obviously loves, and that's too bad for him. But on the flip side, this story is very inspirational, at least in my opinion, despite the writer. And I love that. And it's awesome art that changes every issue, really just highlights life. Life changes, things change, and the art changing amplifies that even more. So this is one of my favorite Superman stories of all time. I think it's a wonderful jumping on point. It's for people who don't really read comics, but for people who do, it's a love letter to the character of the Man of Steel. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you love it, hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time on my comic-filled nerdy ass videos.